Dr. Cosmas Maduka is one of Africa's most respected entrepreneurs, having built a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate with a starting capital of less than $1, spanning across automobile, auto care, healthcare, ICT, and agriculture. He lost his dad at age 4, stopped his education in elementary 3, and took to hawking before taking on an apprenticeship in the sale of automobile spare parts. Today, he has moved on to signing dealerships with global brands like Rolls-Royce, BMW, Ford, amongst others, and has also been featured on Forbes, invited by the United Nations, and has also served as chairman of one of Africa's leading banks for 12 years. He says you require 3 things to succeed: vision, faith, and courage. Thank you for joining us on Business Insights with Irene. It's not enough to start a business or run a business. In most cases, you want it to outlive you, your first generation, your second generation, which is a major challenge for business owners. But I'm here with Dr. Cosmas Maduka, who will be showing us the way. Thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you.
In most cases, we want our businesses to outlive us, which is something that we seldom see, here in Nigeria and across the world. But then how are we able to pass the vision to those that are coming ahead of us, after us?
It all depends on the vision of the founder, owner of a business. As I said, my 15 or 14 pages dream that I summarized was to build an institution that would be timeless in its relevancy and value. If I decode it to you, means we're going to build a company that will not just be for the lifetime of Cosmas Maduka. The taste of the food is in the eating. You can see the direction we are going by the steps we have been taking to know whether we are working towards that vision and if it is really a goal we want to sustain. Because growing up as a young man, I hail from Nnewi in Anambra State of Nigeria, where the first Aliko Dangote was created in Nigeria. The number 1 richest man. At a time, it was almost more wealthy than Nigeria was Sir Odumegwu Ojukwu. Okay? When the Queen visited Nigeria in those days, it was his Rolls Royce that the federal government borrowed to sovereign the Queen of England. There was no car at that level. It was multi-billionaire at his own time, but there were no sustainability. I've seen the like of Ekene Dirichukwu, Izuchukwu, different set of entrepreneurs that never pass the first generation. Many of them never even get to the second generation. It is the end of it. And I find fault with it because it was not set on the right footing. The owners had ambition to have money, to create wealth, to be known, but they never planned about sustainability. So sustainability is the key. Where I told you now I'm doing business with companies that are 200 years old, 250 years old. Human being doesn't live that type of life. But trees and companies are organic by their nature, so they can always reinvent themselves. So it's all about innovation, finding a different way to do things from what people have been doing before. So we set up clearly to build an institution, and from us, time will prove when after I am gone. But in my lifetime, I'm beginning to see where I sit back, like I do tell people, in the last 28 years or 30 years, I've never signed a check in Coscharis, even though I earn the company 100%. I'm beginning to, devote myself from the responsibility, giving people authority, building an institution, a formidable institution, going through its trial and test, and putting its roots solidly on the ground. And I can tell you today, if you look for me, you didn't see me, Coscharis will jolly well be even more greater, because there are some conservativeness I have that has not even made the company grow the way it should have been, and maybe some other person will take it to another level. But we have a solid board, a very strong corporate governance behind the organization. I am quite confident that this institution will be timeless in its relevancy as long as there is a country called Nigeria. Even when there's no more Nigeria, whichever side it belongs, it will be, Coscharis is never going to die. You will be one of Nigeria multinational that will pass the test of the time.
Now, I heard you say that you've sat back for the past 27, 28 years and you've not had to sign a check.
That's right.
For Coscharis. That speaks a lot regarding how you probably do not support excessively micromanaging your staff. What are the dangers of excessively micromanaging your staff?
Of course, when you micromanage people, you find a lot of yes men around you, people who believe you are you have the magic wine, everybody rally around you. You know, it starts from actually having small mindset because if you look at me today, engaging people like Josiah Samuel, like Okenwuke, 12 years managing director in Access Bank, getting Fred Amobi, who has been a managing director of Lafarge in some of their subsidiary country, in other country, a financial controller of them, a former. So coming to Coscharis, I'm bringing people who are going to be asking me questions that will give me a second thought. I'm not inferior. I don't have complex. But when you like everybody, you must be the most intelligent people in the room. Every other person don't know anything. That's position, you will not grow. You will not be profitable to yourself. The way to grow is to look for people who will ask you questions that can give you a second thought, no matter whatever you think you are. In other words, you will like challenges and you are not afraid of it. You have no ego to massage. In that way, you create a healthy rivalry where you come to a meeting. If everybody thinking the same way, nobody is thinking at all, because it is in the race that the power of the horses are known. When different people are coming with different idea, you need to be disciplined to submit to superior reason. I've got put up and said,
even as the founder,
that's correct. That's correct. It doesn't mean you know everything. It's kind of a blessing that some of those quality people are deciding to work for you to lead them, but they all have things to contribute, a lot more.
So there's something that, comes to mind, which I've heard quite a couple of young people talk about. There is an organization, the founder has a vision, which maybe the junior staff are totally in love with, the reason why they probably came in. But then along the line, which is, in terms of the chain of leadership, say their line managers are so tough, it's more like they're being stifled. What are the dangers of having line managers that stifle the junior staff in organizations?
Well, it all depends. The word staffing is, for me, a little bit relevant and ambiguous, because a lazy guy doesn't want anybody to drive him or her for a result. I've also had people like that within my organization, those who started with me at a time feel we have arrived while we were still living at a Butemeta, because they knew we started with 200 naira. They've seen me bought a Mercedes, seen me build houses, and so they felt, why am I looking for more money? Do I go to heaven with it? I said, if nobody goes to heaven with money, when God called me, I won't go to heaven with it. But I still need to work. So there are people who are easily contempted, and they have no emotive or ambition to work hard. But if you have organization where people are leading with fear, well, that's dangerous. Okay, I don't want organizations that are led by fear. I want organization where people's opinion matter and where people can be the best that they can be, and let them know that their contributions are very well appreciated. Doesn't matter how useless it may seem. It's important that people are allowed to aid their view in organization. But you need some tough manager to drive people to productivity, because there are those who are not ready to move anymore at a certain level. They just feel, you guys don't get satisfied. Am I going to kill myself for it? Which is a popular Nigerian language. I won't kill myself, So nobody asks you to kill yourself. But if you are getting tired, that's why even in soccer, in certain games, you bench people at a certain level. In Coscharis, after 60 years, I turned 62 years ago, they wrote me a letter, so I'm actually on a contract in my year of retirement, So most of my colleagues who have hit 60 have taken an honorable exit, because at 60, actually, you work for the young people. And that's why some people are still at 60 going for seminar to start business. They've missed it already, So maybe one or two of them will be able to make it ultimately. But you need a more younger people with more fresh idea who, yes, they may think crazy, but that's how new things are found out. Frankly speaking, you never make a discovery in obeying the rule, okay? Because you can only find new route by missing a road. If you keep on running on a road that is already created, you will run that road for 1,000 years. Sometimes it's good you miss road. From missing road, you find a new road that may be shorter. But you can also mismanage it. From missing road, you lost completely. So that's the asset and liability about it, thinking outside of the box. But it's more safer to think within the box, because the risk all settled there. We know where is the excess and the extremism. But I believe sometimes myself, in my way of thinking, I want to think outside of the box. I want to take a risk.
I like that you mentioned, assets and liabilities, which
Yes.
will lead me to my next question. Now, I reckon that, there are some people that say at the start of your business, even if they did not have the level of skill sets that was necessary for a conglomerate, you had them working with you for the time. But then moving forward, you realize that your vision for the company and, the staff that you currently have may not really align. How do you manage to sort of get rid of those kind of staff in the best way?
That's where the scale of an entrepreneur come to play. Look at it. Because many times that's when I said business in my DNA, I am not saying it for joke or to entertain people. I took an average staff to set up Coscharis, let us go, let us move, drive the people, which is important. Leadership matter most. When you find an army of a sheep that is led by a lion will defeat an army of lion that is led by a sheep. Okay? Because everything starts and ends with leadership. When you find a good leader that can motivate people, those people become 1,000 times stronger than their natural ability. And all is coming from inspiration from the leader. So we got those kind of set of people until we build our Victoria Island property. I've never had any professional staff working for me. But I knew it got a point. Everybody rally around me. Whatever I say, yes, sir. That's the way it should be done. Yes, sir. Everybody, yes, sir. You call for a meeting, everybody's waiting for you to talk. Nobody has opinion. Whatever you say, yes, sir, that's the way we should do it. We go ahead and do it. Oh, I felt no. I never set up to build an institution that is based on Cosmas Maduka, because I have a lifetime. It's for question of time for me. I'm going to leave. But I wanted an institution that would be independent of me. And I need to create this institution by duplicating myself or multiplying myself through other people. So we started looking for high-skill people coming into the company. It was the biggest challenge, and that's where, if you're a good mason, laying a straight wall, you are not known by it. It's when you have to take a corner. How successful you make that corner and your wall is still straight, then people give you credit. That was a test for us. You hire these professionals from graduate from university, some of them you had, and what you brought on board is your dogged determination of core competence of automotive component. These are all the things I knew. But you needed these people with skill to bring a level of professionalism where you can compete, and your competitors in the industry will start taking you serious. BMW cannot talk to me in that my one-man show with those level of people I have then. They cannot put up a business presentation that can make sense, that will attract their attention. There are other things we can do. We can own transportation, it doesn't need scale, sell pure water. But there are some professional businesses that we will not get into to be able to do them. And also to free myself to be able to do some other things. So when these experts started coming, they wanted independence. So I sold my visions to them, and they bought into it. The next thing is, what do we do with this other staff who were really the brainchild that brought Coscharis to where they are? There's a dichotomy in my company. Some people felt, these people, they come here, they drink tea. What do they contribute? We have built Coscharis before they come. What are they doing here? Look at all these assets. We already own it. But those people are the people that are going to take the company. So what do? It was challenging, but what we did is that we called some consultant company to come, assess our staff, and we had a meeting to explain to them, look, you've done well. I spoke to them in the same motivation way, encouraged them about their capacity, and that it's good they start early, okay, to work for themselves and not to work for me forever. Tried to inspire them and said, look, if anybody decide to resign honorable on his own, we'll pay him 200% of his 2 years salary. It costs the company money, but it's a bet so that, you give people good feeling, So, but if you don't resign, we will let the consultant assess you. If you are among those that qualify to leave the company, you will leave on what we agree with you. And we are surprised. Even some people we don't want to resign, throw in their paper, and we tell them, okay, withdraw it. But so many we didn't ask to withdraw it. And they got paid. Some travel abroad immediately because they have arrived. Some went to America 5 times in 1 year, spending their money. And today they are doing nothing. But some went to Aspanda, got a shop, and some of them are some of our major dealers today, controlling hundreds of millions of naira. Quite a number of them set up business from that retirement capital. They still work with us, okay, because they become our advocate on the other side, become our eyes in the market, get special treatment as part of our company before, bring us information what the market is looking for. So it was a win-win situation. But this new set of people do not just left us in Maza where we start, because many people do not know our core business is auto component. It wasn't just selling car. The automobile was what the new people brought into the business. Farming and different new things are expansion. So today, Coscharis is into health management, information technology, agriculture, auto sales, auto component, and we are still expanding. So the need for getting new idea. In fact, we are building our organization to where 10% of our staff must leave every year, and the additional 20 new percent staff need to come in. So we keep it fresh. We keep it fresh. We, retire people who are getting tired and get new zeal and new blood. Do we make mistake? There are new things we are getting into. Some of them we made mistake, but we learn from it. If we continue to be afraid of not getting mistake, we stop where we are.
Expand.
So that's part of the problem. Quite a number of people are not feel that they don't want to make mistake anymore. Then you stop growing. Yep.
We'll take a quick break now, but when we come back, we'll talk about the need for emotional intelligence in order to expand your business and actually sustain it.
Okay, good.